Hey everyone, what's going on? Phoenix here. Today we're doing something a little bit different and I am trying the Lord of the Rings online for the first time. This game came out in 2007, so it's just about 17 years old at this point, and I still think it's a really good game, especially coming from something like Asheron's Call, which was actually developed by the same company that developed Lord of the Rings Online. They were both developed by Turbine. Back when Turbine was a company that existed, Lord of the Rings Online is now operated or run by Standing Stone Games, and this game is still getting updates. They came out with a new expansion, Corsairs of Umbar, just this past month, December 2023. I'm playing this now into 2024, giving it a shot. Yeah, let's get into it. The character creator is pretty basic. This is a class-based game, so you can pick your race, which has some different things. For instance, man gets the gift of men, some easily inspired and strong men, and then you can pick from a list of classes. There are some races and classes that are locked behind purchases, so they're locked behind the store, which again, this is a free-to-play game, so I think that is totally fine, and I just went for a free-to-play class. You can read some descriptions about what they do. There's a difficulty rating for each class. So for instance, the captain, which is what I ended up picking, has a moderate difficulty rating. The guardian or the hunter or the champion all have basic difficulty ratings. So if you are a new player, those might be ones that you want to pick. Then you can put in your character name and then hit create character, and we're ready to go.
A chance encounter with brigands upon the road leads to captivity. You awaken with the ranger Strider before you. As he urges you to act quickly, you realize you have become involved in matters much greater than yourself.
The game starts you off in jail, which is definitely an MMO trope. I believe one of the World of Warcraft expansions also started this way. This is basically the tutorial. It's called the introduction. Gets you, I believe, through about level 10. But it's pretty cool to start the game off playing next to Strider, playing next to Aragorn.
Hurry, friend. We must test your will to fight. Well done. Let us press on.
Once you get through that very basic introduction to combat and everything, you're going to get teleported into a new instance where you're still with Strider.
Here is where we must part ways.
I do appreciate the voice acting. It's really nice to have that on top of the text, so you don't necessarily have to read everything in this game, which is pretty cool. After rescuing some Bagginses, you get to a little cutscene with one of the ring wraiths.
These folk.
Strider saves the day, and Amdir, this ranger, was stabbed. And that's kind of the story that we're following in the beginning of the game, which is cool.
I regret that I was but a moment too late, but all is not lost.
Wounded by a Black Rider, the ranger Amdir escaped with his charges into the wild, making his way back to the village of Archet.
There, Captain Brackenbrook, a retired sellsword, has allowed Strider and his companions to stay and take respite from their cares.
This is one of the things that I really like about this game, is there are these mini cutscenes in between. When you're kind of loading, you get to watch these. And it's one of the reasons that this game is so good. It's got some single player aspect to it on top of being an MMO. At this point, we're brought out into the town of Archet, where this is still the introduction, but it's a little bit more open world. You're not just in an instance, so there can be other players in this, and you get to do some quests and level up while you're learning the game. Still during the introduction, there's a cool scene where you fall asleep and go into a dream to Lothlorien, where you talk with Galadriel.
Listen to my words.
John Brackenbrook and his hunters have reached the outskirts of Archet to find it already ablaze. A desperate struggle to save their village is about to begin. Hopefully, you have arrived in time.
The introduction culminates with a brigand attack on the town of Archet, which we, along with some of the townsfolk, attempt to stop. And this is where you're going to test all of the skills that you've learned in the introduction, all of the combat that you've done.
No more time for games. We come for the Rangers.
I had never seen these like red ring rates before. I don't know if they're in the books or specific to the game, but they're Kargul, and I feel like they would just kill me if they attacked me here, but they come here to take Amdir and try to turn him into one of them. I definitely have plot armor at this point in the game, because if they fought me, I would definitely die. But we're left to fight the villager who betrayed the town and is working with them, Calder Cobb.
What misery has befallen us? My father was right to trust no one.
And that's the end of the introductory quest. We're gonna finish it up.
With the Black Wolves' attack foiled, the people of Archet have begun to rebuild. Yet not all hurts are so easily mended. The fate of the Ranger Amdir remains uncertain and may have dire consequences for Breland. But hope remains that he may yet be saved.
So I am playing a captain, and the captain kind of seems to be like a leader of men, so I can summon this pet, which is, you know, a guy who buffs my combat. I have somewhat combos where I cast like this battle shout, and it makes me better in combat. It increases my melee damage, just makes me stronger. I can break that crowd control if I was paying attention. And then I have abilities that require this battle shout or some other form of battle shout to be active in order to use them. So I use battle shout, and then I can, you know, use pressing attack or one of these other abilities. There's different skill trees, which is really nice. You have some options with the way you build your character. So they're basically talent trees, they're called, or traits panel. I went with the lead the charge trait, but you can be a leader of men, hands of healing, and I believe you can pick different ones from the different trait trees. I just, you know, for this first playthrough, I'm just going with the one trait tree. Be a little bit more, you know, just figure out one thing at a time. So that was the guy that I had to kill. The loot in this game is interesting because it all goes to this, like, pending loot panel, which I find interesting. A lot of games struggle with inventory management. I find that really tough in this game. If you're playing, I am playing free to play, I should mention. I have this ability, Telling Mark, which increases damage. It's kind of like a Hunter's Mark type ability. I can do bleeds, which I've found to be, like, only okay. But it is something that I can do. This is the first time I'm actually taking a lot of damage and feeling threatened. My heal is super powerful. Oh, because the boss spawned again. I really don't want to die. I haven't died yet. My heal is so good. I think I aggroed like this entire camp. Okay, we're gonna leave. No, don't die. I have a bleed on me. Look at how many guys I aggroed. Holy cow. But we managed not to die. So while I am playing free to play, what's going to happen as you're playing this game is you get these alerts and you get these deeds. So you get deeds bestowed. These are automatically bestowed to you when you're doing something. So for instance, when you're fighting brigands, there's going to be a deed that says kill 30 brigands, and then you get some rewards. And some of the rewards that you can get are the premium currency that you use to buy stuff in the cash shop, which is nice. It seems like, you know, I'm only level 15, but it seems like you can earn enough currency to buy at least some things in the cash shop. So for instance, I just earned some points, 10 Lord of the Rings online points, and can visit the store. They're currently having some sales, so, you know, for instance, this is 105 points. I already have 45, and I've actually spent a few to get amount at one point. When you complete a deed, so these things come up, and you get a deed log, and you can get mail, which you have to go to a mailbox for, unless you are a VIP member, which is basically a subscriber if you pay a monthly fee. While we're here, let's talk about the cash shop. This game is free to play if you want, so it is supported by their cash shop, which I'm totally fine with. A cash shop for a game that is free to play. One thing I don't necessarily like is there definitely are some pay to win elements. So if you go into just like your character panel, you'll see there are some things you can enhance your character by basically buying power. So you can rename your character, which is totally fine. You can buy stat tomes, which just make your character better. There's a whole section for buffs and services. Not a huge fan of that, but understand that this game is free to play. And personally, I'm not really competing against anyone, so I don't really care if other people are paying for power. I guess it's nice if you're coming, in my perspective, into a 17-year-old game of like being able to buy an XP boost and try to catch up a little bit quicker. I think that is nice. I hope that later on, if I continue to play this, you don't need to buy this kind of stuff in order to do like the higher level content. So that's something that's I'm still not sure about, and if I make more content about this, maybe we'll find out. There's cosmetics. I'm 100% support cosmetics for a game like this, for a free-to-play game. Some of them seem pretty cool. I wish you could preview them in the cash shop, but again, this game came out in 2007. The other thing that you can purchase are the expansions. So this game has a ton of expansions. You can buy them right in the cash shop. I wonder if you can earn enough currency to purchase these, but there's a bunch of different expansions. So there's Before the Shadow, Fate of Gundabad, Minas Morgul, Mordor, War of Three Peaks, Where Dragons Dwell, a bunch of cool different expansions, quest packs for different quests. And then if you click on them, you unlock different adventures. So I think maybe if I get to these areas, it might be interesting to try some of these out. And that's the online store. Overall, the experience of it is pretty nice. You can search for things that you want. I was trying to figure out how to buy more pack space, because that is another thing that you can do. I kind of wish that when you clicked on the store from the pack space, it just takes you to the store. It doesn't take you right to like where you would buy the packs. So I feel like that would be an improvement that they could make. The map system is pretty basic, but it does more than the map in Asheron's Call did. There actually is a functional map, so you can see like where your quests are. You can, see where there's fast travel points in towns, and if there is a zoom in on a town, for instance, Bree, you can click on it and see what's going on in the town. Some of them didn't have that, and I found that a little bit frustrating. For instance, when I was in Combe, there was no way to zoom in on it, but like Archit, which is the starting town, you could zoom in on. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. This map is absolutely massive. So this is the Bree area. I've only been started in Archet, and I've made my way through Combe to Breetown and this area. In the camp, I'm going to zoom out again. This is the Bree area. There's all these other areas, all these other towns. And I'm going to zoom out again. Look at how just insanely big this map is. Rohan, Edoras, also big. Like, Mordor, Minas Morgul. Like, the amount of zoom in, size of this place is crazy. And here's the new area, Umbar, with the new town, I believe. Like, I can see it taking so long to play through however much of this game you wanted to play through. Obviously, for me, the draw of this game is being able to go to places that you saw in the movies or read in the books, and that is one thing to note, is that this game is based off of the books, and I believe that's the license that they have. So you're going to have things like Tom Bombadil, and you might see, for instance, Strider, which I'm going to show you in this, but they might not look like what you expect them to look like. So just keep that in mind as you're playing this. This is based on the books and the works of J.R.R. Tolkien and not the movies that you may have seen. Currently, I'm playing towards the end of 2023, going into 2024, and there is a winter event going on, so I earned a map that could teleport me to the, Winter Yule Festival, which is pretty cool looking, and there are some quests in this area. A lot of the quests in this game are typical what you would expect of an MMO, which is, go fetch 10 things, or go kill 10 bandits, so there's been a lot of that. But this Yule Festival area is pretty cool looking, and definitely something that I'm going to be exploring while I'm playing this. Fireworks going off. There's a ton of people running around, which is really cool, and there's been a lot of chat in the world chat, which is really nice. There's definitely still a pretty active community for a game that is 17 years old. They've been having some sales around the holidays to try to entice people to come back, and I'm sure that the new expansion is also drawing a lot of people in. One of the reasons that I wanted to come try this again is I saw some of the press around the new expansion and thought maybe this was a good time to give the game a try, so it worked on me. I think the main draw of a game like this is the setting, being able to play in the Lord of the Rings universe, be on Middle-earth, go to the Shire, go to Gondor, go to Mordor. I'm really excited to explore some of those extra places. So far, even just going to Bree has been pretty cool, and seeing Strider, Aragorn, as part of the introduction, definitely a great draw into the game. That's going to be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more Lord of the Rings Online content, more new content from me, let me know in the comments. Definitely interested in trying some different games. If you're interested in getting these videos early, you can hit that join button in the description, become a channel member, and get these videos before anybody else. Thanks for watching.